He really turned the crowd on here. Deservedly, he has the lead. Scott Hartsock is on the track next in this brand new Gunslinger. We spent some time earlier today with Scott Hartsock.
Freestyle, I got to tailor it a little bit because I'm not quite sure where I want this spring rate in the back. But if it works out, 50% of what I needed to do tonight, and I can get some big air out of here, and I can walk out of here without a stiff neck. Hey, man, I'm coming home. Going to do a little adjustment on her. And next weekend in Tampa, Florida, I'll come out cock-blocked and ready to rock.
Worked it in finally.
Yeah, you knew it was coming. He's always cock-locked and ready to rock. Just kind of fighting those buses.
He's got the 26 on the back of this thing. He's talking about the shocks. But the 26 is on the back of it. Now, some of the guys are actually, like Lindsey Wink, for example, are taking the 26s off, putting them on the front, putting 30s on the back. But he's talking about getting that shock adjustment, spring adjustment just right so that it doesn't have a whole lot of rebound, but still suppresses the slam whenever they hit the ground. So he doesn't have to take such a beating inside of the seat.
And again, Ken, for the average layman here, the numbers you're referring to refer to suspension travel. And that's the big thing on these trucks, is the amount of travel that the shocks give them.
So these guys, I mean, a great-looking truck, no doubt about it. But when it's brand new, it takes a little while to get it figured out. We saw that with Gravedigger, as a matter of fact. It took him probably half a year to really get it fine-tuned.
Again, that big Ford is a new truck top to bottom. Even though you've seen Gunslinger for years here on Monster Jam, Scott has not only changed the design of the truck top to bottom. It's brand new. He's going to fill the clock with a pretty impressive run. As you expect from Hartsock, his freestyles tend to give you a lot of big air. You hear the engine. He loves to really make a lot of noise, give you a lot of power, and keep up a lot of momentum. And he has done that in this run.
He has made some nice changes to this truck. Great looking ride. The wheelbase is a little bit longer, about 4 inches longer. Nice wheel stand there. Makes it harder to do a wheel stand when that wheelbase is longer. You need a little more power, but he's always had big smoke. Also, the center of gravity, because he's lowered the engine, is a little bit lower, and that's always better for racing.
The clock is full. He is just doing this, a little bit of an encore, a little bonus for these Monster Jam fans in Atlanta and for everybody watching here on Speed, because he's filled the clock. We'll get the scores here as soon as he decides he's had enough, but we're going to let him go on. We always love seeing a little extra, don't we?
Yeah, he's putting on a great show for the fans. Great momentum.
Hartsock not far from his home in Bushnell, Florida. This is one of these shows he really enjoys. A lot of friends and family will come up the interstate. I-75 heading straight on up, and here we go with some donuts.
Yeah, he got it to work, didn't he?
Yeah, so better be correct me from earlier when I said donuts are a real risk. They certainly weren't for Gunslinger. Let's look at some of the highlights.
Well, I think you're exactly right. They are a big risk. He just managed to pull it off. Kind of took it easy over the bus there, and that's what we've seen most people do, with the exception of Chris Bergeron, who did a great job at here. I mean, this is what the fans love to see. Just goes vertical. A couple times showed us the big power inside of the truck, and then right here finishes off with a very tough set of donuts.
The best donuts we have seen by far to this point in the competition. Is it enough to get the lead away from the 23 that Brutus put on the board? Hartsock, the fans are loving it. The only question is, what did the judges think? They thought it was okay, but not enough to give him the lead. It's a 19 for Scott Hartsock and the Gunslinger. Chris Bergeron and Brutus leads, but coming back, John Seasock tries to go for a double-down trophy. Don't miss it. Joining us at Atlanta's Georgia Dome, Scott Douglas, Ken Stout, Brenda Price, and more than 66,000 of our closest Monster Jam friends loving freestyle. And Chris Bergeron has the Brutus machine out of Michigan, sitting number one by 4 points over Scott Hartsock and Gunslinger, a little more than halfway through the competition. John Seasock, last time out on Speed, got the breakthrough win he had been looking for so long, as the veteran finally won in racing on television. Now, if he can win this freestyle, he'll take home the huge Double Down trophy. Again, the only way to win Double Down is to win racing and freestyle in the same venue, and we name it that because of the Double Down package that you can get if you're coming to the World Finals in Las Vegas. At the Monster Jam World Finals, Ken, the Double Down experience is like no other. If you're a big Monster Jam fan, you're coming out to Las Vegas, get the Double Down ticket.
Yeah, and you better get after it soon, because there's only 5,000 seats, so if you want one, it is sold out every single year. You've got to get online. You got to get after it. This is a great-looking truck. A great onboard shot, by the way, too, off the rear of the truck, up on the right rear wing, looking over the roof. So this $18,000 body gives us a great view.
And that view you're talking about, we're going to see it a couple more times, is the situation where it's going over the roof, but it really still is what John's seeing, and that's what I like about it. This is a truck, Ken, with a little smaller windshield, but Seasock has not complained about the field of vision here. He says he can see fine.
Yeah, it's very tall. It doesn't chop off the top of his view, so you can actually see very well out of it. And then, of course, down the bottom, plexiglass. And you know what? John has done donuts since day one in his trucks. He's always loved to do them.
That is his hand out the window. He's doing those no-handed, which is cool.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun to watch those guys. They get them going in a cyclone, if you will, and the truck takes care of itself.
John Seasock apparently will fill the clock. I still think we need a big wow moment if he's going to give Bergeron a run, though. And that's not going to help him. Again, everybody who rolls over that bus is compared to Bergeron, who flew the bus. Still, solid freestyle. You know, John's always been a consistent freestyler, and he's always working and studying up his game. And there's some huge air. That's nice.
Everybody's pretty much done the same thing right at the very end of the run. They get one big moment.
And the difference for Seasock is he did his while it still counts for scoring. John Seasock and Batman with a nice performance. Do the judges think it's enough for the lead is the question. And, you know, even if he doesn't double down, this trip to Atlanta is one John's never going to forget. And here's that surfing on the roof that he's done in other trucks. Well, the Batman truck's not quite designed for that. Be careful, John.
The surfaces are a little rounder here.
John Seasock and Batman, a guy who really continues to just do great things in Monster Jam. Let's watch it again, Ken.
Beautiful job right there. The thing's about 10 feet in the air, 10,000 pounds of truck. And then look at his hands. You talked about it before, Scott. As the camera view comes back up, you'll see neither hand on the steering wheel, just standing on the throttle, doing donuts. There they are, both of them out the windows. That's awesome.
No hands on the donuts. He had hands on here because this was some sick air. The best leap we've seen off that mountain.
Yeah, boy, and you can see the beating the driver takes inside there as well. So these guys have to be in shape. They work very hard to put on a good show for everybody.
The score's a 17 for John Seasock and Batman. Well, now it's time to send it down to Brenda Price, our Advanced Auto Parts. Fuel your curiosity.
This is Advanced Auto Parts, so fuel your curiosity. And right now I have with me Michael Wagner. And who are you? Bryson. Hi, Bryson. All right, so now if you had a question for anybody involved in Monster Jam, who would it be and what would your question be?
Andy Anderson, and my question would be, if he was a viewer, who would his favorite Monster Jam character be?
Well, Adam, I guess we're going to come find you and find out who your favorite racer would be.
All right, hey, Michael, this is Adam. You know who my favorite racer would be? Probably Lindsey Wink. It's sad to say. My dad's been doing it for 25 years, but Lindsey, he's a new guy. I'm a new guy. We're buddies. We have a good time together, and he's an awesome racer.
Well, there's headline news. I wonder what Dad's going to think of that comment because those two got a history. Hey, we're getting back to freestyle here in Atlanta. Don't go away. Freestyle in Atlanta, and as I like to say, business is about to pick up. Tony Farrell has got the Built Ford Tough Blue Thunder ready to come out and try and lead an assault on Chris Bergeron and Brutus, who right now is in the Hot Wheels hot seat as our leader with a score of 23. But Tony Farrell has been on a roll with great performances this year. We talked to him earlier before he came out for Freestyle in Atlanta.
We got a couple things. If they'll let us hit it together, grade, we're going to try to ride a wheelie down the backside of it. And, of course, you got to get big air going the other way. And you still got the bus stack. Them's always fun. I mean, if you go towards the end of the pack, the cars start getting, you know, they start getting smashed a little more. It's almost like a big ramp. And I'm sure they're going to drag some more stuff in. So, you know, we're looking forward to it. Like I said, I've never been to Georgia Dome. I'm excited about being here. You know, I've been racing 10 years and never been here. It's a big old dome. It's a nice facility.
Here comes that Built Ford Tough Machine Blue Thunder, the team based in Detroit. It is the corporately sponsored Ford machine. And there's that wheelie he talked about. Ride it, Tony. Wow.
Great throttle control. He could have rocked it all the way back on the rear bumper, but he didn't. He just had great control, drove that wheel stand all the way across the floor, just like he said, and now he's coming back for big air. #1 qualifier in racing. This thing has some big steam. He's a great driver. It's an awesome truck.
Picking up some momentum. Looks like he's setting up for the buses. Like Bergeron, he leaped over those buses. He didn't just roll them.
Yeah, he did an awesome job, and it did kick the back of the truck up. Great control.
That's a sky wheelie folks, straight up and down, and he didn't plant the tailgate that time.
By design. They've actually moved the shutoff switches up inside of the frame rails now because they used to do those and they'd shut the truck off. They did them so much they had to move the shutoff switches.
He's still got 40 seconds to go. Chris Bergeron's a little nervous in the hot seat right now, my friend.
And rightfully so, because Tony Farrell has just been doing a job all night long.
What you got to love about it, he's open strong, and the sickest air of the night was just brought to the house by Tony Farrell and Blue Thunder.
And you know, oh, hold on.
I've got a save in there, too.
Beautiful.
Farrell is on a roll.
He's out there on the edge. And you know, he probably landed softer by airing that thing out than he did by just kind of halfway running up it.
He's looking for a slap wheelie here. Let's see. Pull it up there. He's going to ride it again.
Man, that thing just has so much power.
2-1-0. He has filled the clock with the most exciting 90 seconds of the night.
Again, that Georgia Clay wasn't going to let him do a donut, but he stuck his foot in it hard anyways.
A rollover is not supposed to be a positive to the judges, but they can't help but be excited about this run, and their scores had not come in yet because, again, they will allow one more move after the clock goes to 0. I've got to believe Tony Farrell takes the lead.
Look at this wheel stand. I mean, just works it absolutely perfectly, and that's how he started the show off. That's that wow moment you always talk about, Scott, and then he airs it out here.
Kind of kicked the back a little bit, but he stayed under control. You talked about it. It was power. It was aggression with control.
And he just airs it out right here. That's a big-time flight for that truck. The crowd going crazy, everybody on their feet, and that's exactly how he ends it up.
Tony Farrell, the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder, waiting on a score that should put him in the hot seat. A 10 and then 2 9s. He blows into the lead with a score of 28. A brilliant performance. Let's go down to Brenda Price.
Hey, Tony Farrell, great save, stick air, but it looks like he got caught in this Georgia Clay.
Well, I tell you what, I knew that Clay would be a little tough. We just wanted to go out there and put a good show on his fans. You know, I messed up racing. I let that gunslinger beat me. Wasn't by much, but I hope these fans love us, that we sure want to come back here.
Tony, I think you've got a standing invitation from my friends in the Peach State. We're coming back with Mr. Excitement. Third Jam at the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Wow. The fans are on their feet and they're rocking because the freestyles from the big guns they know are coming. Tony Farrell just showed them how it's done in the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder. We'll see if that score is going to be able to hold up because the big boys are coming, including the 2003 world champion Jim Kohler and the Avenger. He had a great freestyle in Atlanta last year. We asked him to relive that earlier today.
Yeah, me and Bruce were tied for first. Digger came out, dodged that bullet. That was cool. Tom Mentz, darn that guy. We tried putting laxatives in his coffee. We did everything we could, but the guy's dang resilient. Comes back, no problem. Ends up beating us by 1 point or some crap. I don't know. I think his mom or dad were in the judging booth or something. I looked like all his relatives, I think. I'm not sure. So he beat us. So it would have been a team scream tie. Would have been awesome. But we took second, which, you know, second's not, you know, it's not no slouch.
Yeah, but I think Jimmy's one of those guys who thinks seconds for the first loser.
Exactly right. He knows what it takes to win a championship in freestyle. He's done it before, and you're right. Nothing short of a win is good enough.
Kohler will come out and just give you a show. It may last 30 seconds. If he fills the clock, he's always a contender to win.
Up and over. There we go. Didn't kick the back end up on the bus that time, did we?
Jimmy knows how to get up there where the radar can pick him up because he will go skyward.
One more time the other way, so he is airing it out tonight.
You're getting an example here of why he breaks the truck so much because he gets so much elevation, he gets so high, those landings tend to be where he has problems. So far tonight, so far so good on the landings.
Well, Pablo Huffaker from Racehorse has come out with some stronger spindles, stronger knuckles, and that's what's allowing these guys to fly so high and still keep the trucks together.
Final 30 seconds upcoming. Oh, a nice, brilliant sky wheelie from Jim Kohler. Now, this is not good. He kind of comes to a stop, and this is going to hurt him a little bit. You don't want to break that momentum. That's what Tony Farrell did so brilliantly. He just didn't stop for the 90 seconds. That one little hit may cost Kohler a chance to get up there with Farrell's score because he's been exciting.
He's had a great run here tonight, no doubt about it. If he can cap this thing off with a couple seconds left, he might take the lead.
Clock will go to 0. Again, the judges are instructed to let him have one more hit or one more move before they turn their scores in. So if he can come up with something big here, it will still count. Going to try donuts.
Not going to happen.
It's going to be on its roof. Go.
Now, if he could have pulled that off.
And it would have still counted. It might have done the job. You're right. What a finish for Jim Kohler and the Avenger. They're getting underneath there. And again, the United States hot rod officials are the best in the business of getting to the truck, assessing the situation, doing all the things they do to get the safety aspect under control and getting that driver out.
Well, the first time over that bus, he never even touched it. He just sailed it out. He definitely put on some big air for these fans. Here he goes the other way. Just kind of touches it a little bit, but man, oh man, what a show. This guy's not afraid.
You know, when he touched it, it allowed him to ride it out. He almost was able to pull that thing back out here. Now watch, he gets on the throttle, but then it just goes over. But I still heard his engine running. I thought they might have used the remote ignition interrupter to shut him down at that point, but they obviously didn't. They were trying to let him save it. This is going to be a crazy moment because he's out. Brenda Price is working her way over. The scores are all over the board. It's only a 20, surprisingly. Well, let's send it down to Brenda, who's with Mr. Excitement.
All right, Jim. Well, it looks like the Cyclone bit you.
Yeah, you know, I knew it was tacky, but I couldn't leave Georgia without giving it a shot. I gave him some air. I tried to do some wheelies. We had some fun out here. I love Atlanta!
Listen to that roar. It's obviously Atlanta loves Mr. Kohler, too.
He loves his fans. That guy is so full of excitement, so full of energy, and it shows in his driving.
His crew chief, Steve Kohler, back to work, my friend. Coming up, Adam Anderson brings out the digger. Don't go away.